Good morning, everybody. It's Monday. It's the Microservices course. We are in winter term 21-22, and it's the third lecture, is it? Somehow third or fourth, who knows? Last week we were starting with building the front end of our warehouse. The warehouse is where the goods are stored, and we have this fantastic home button, and we have store tasks, and we could go for add, and it works like a charm. You see that this button here has a border now. There was something that I did wrong, and I have learned from Adrian to do better. And I would put this one here and have, that one here and that one there. Come on. No, here we are. So, and let's have this one a little bit smaller. Yeah, I love it. Okay, and close this one, and then go for, we need the store task. Yeah, that's a good one. Component HTML. Here is that one, and enlarge this one. Okay. As you recall, this is the thing that actually generates this page. Ignore this on the bottom. This is the thing that we, at the end of the lecture, Sebastian is going to explain to me how to do this. And we have the container, and the thing that I actually changed compared to the last lecture is I have this router link here instead of an href. And if you use router link, something is better. So I have not really got it. And for example, if you have router link here, the button that has been used is getting highlighted somehow that you know where you are. And therefore this is good. And so, yeah, so the Angular documentation actually says do router link. And so we go there. Actually, for many of the tasks that you have, you might need to have a look into the Angular documents and guides, and there is a lot of really very good help with Angular, and so this is where you can find this router link thing somewhere. You have just to go through that, and there are all other kinds of stuff of things that are explained here. For example, HTTP client and how to use it. And that is a thing that we will hopefully do this week, but probably next week will be the thing. So, and there is no, yes. So we need the shop GUI something. GUI shop, no. Store tasks, no. I don't have it here. That's bad. Okay, it's here only. I have it on the other side here, and give me just a second. I'll look it up. And it's in my, no, so where is it after all? Yeah, I'll find it. So it should be in, yeah, of course. In the Google Drive. So it says Fachgebiet, which is research group. It says lectures or courses. It says microservices. It says shop with GUI board. That is the thing that we are going to be working at. So this is the scenario we are working this, and we have done this screen here, we have done this screen here, we have done this screen here, We are going to send a command to our backend soon, but actually we are still cheating. So here it says the list of pallets is empty. This screen, it is also showing the warehouse pallet, says, oh, we have a pallet, and then sometimes later we have 2 pallets, and so on and so on. And in order to actually program that, we were using some dummy data that were in our store task component in ng on init or somewhere. We were, populating some array with some pallet data in order to have some data to be shown in this list and to learn how this ng4 is working. And so what we actually should do here is that in the moment we go to this page, we should go back to our backend and ask the backend, where is my data? Which pallets do I have? So instead of using the dummy data, we should have real data. And if we are here, then we fill all the data in, and when we send an add, we would actually send this to a backend. So the difference is the front end, it's living in your browser. There's actually a JavaScript virtual machine that is executing all these Angular code you are coding, and all this lives in main memory in your browser. And there's one of these machines per tab, and as soon as you do a reload, all the data you have is gone. It's all the things that you have in local memory is resetted. You can actually do all other kinds of stuff, do an F5 or something like that, and you will soon lose or easily lose the data in this virtual machine. And therefore, the programming guideline is make this machine or this web page stateless. Do not have local memory. That's it, basically. Last week I was about to, send this data from here to, to this page here. And then my people were shouting at me, Albert, don't do this. It's time for a break and think about it. And actually, if I would have done it, this list of pallets would have become local data in my browser system. And this is data that is always in danger. You will lose it very soon and very frequently, and you should never do that. And so instead, I should have sent it to the backend. Now the problem is I don't have a backend yet. So we are today we are going to generate the backend. And therefore, no, not that one. We go here. I actually do this big again and have a look at our structure here. Close that one, close all these. So in my main project, and I'm in the main project today, I have 2 sub-projects, one for the shop and one for the warehouse. And the warehouse has already a micro warehouse front end. And today we are going to generate or to create or to program the micro warehouse backend. The backend is the program that lives somewhere in the cloud, on a server, on a host or whatever you name it. And there, the data of all our users is stored. So the whole state of our system is in the backend. And actually, it is going to be in a database at the backend. So the backend service may need to restart frequently for certain reasons. And so it should also not rely on data in main memory, but have all its data in a persistent memory, which is a database these days. Yeah. So we will actually do this with Mongo database. We will see this soon. And all these kinds of things have to be done. So I have some kind of preparation things in the install summary of our Discord, and you probably need to go there. And then it says, oh, we will need Nest.js. And I go on that documentation page. I have it already anywhere, somewhere. It's this one here. And it tells you what to do. And let's have this a little bit bigger. It has an introduction, philosophy, blah, blah, install. npm -e tells is install, -g globally for every project in my computer. The @ symbol, nest.js/CLI. First of all, what is Nest after all? What we need now is a web server. We need a program that runs in the cloud and that is able to speak to our browser. Our browser is going to send GET and POST requests, HTTP based, to this web server, and then the web server answers with some data, and that's how our system is going to work. And there, a web server, who knows Apache? Is a big library for setting up web servers in Java. Then there is Tomcat. Who knows Tomcat? That's for really having multiple services in a single server with Java again. Then there is Java Spark, yet another package to create. There's Spring Boot, yet another framework for setting up very heavyweight monolithic web servers. If you have a smaller system, you can go for Jetty. It's a Jetty. That's a very small web server thing. And actually, you can use HTTP something. In your Java installation, it comes with a class that provides you with a web server. Actually, well, such a web server is not that much a complicated thing. If it is a small server that just delivers one page, for example, you can actually do it with some 3, 4, 5 lines of code. It's a very easy thing to do. Many embedded systems do have a web server on board. So your toaster, your refrigerator, your washing machine, your car, your Tesla, for example, they have actually web servers on it that you can connect to and then get the page. You have routers at home in Douala? I have no idea. So in Germany, it would be a Fritzbox or something like that. That one has a web page it provides to you. You can connect to that device directly and get a web page from a web server living on that small thing. So web servers are not necessarily a big thing. You can program them in every programming language you have. And because we do our front end with TypeScript, we do the backend with TypeScript too, so that you do not deal with 2 different languages. That's the main reason for this. And in TypeScript, the main library for setting up a small web server is actually Express. That's the thing that you usually use. And we were using Express last year in this course and for 2 years ago also. However, for professional systems, Sebastian actually asked me couldn't we do Nest.js these days? Because Nest is a more professional library for building web servers with TypeScript. So yeah, I said, well, why not? Let's try that. So we do it with Nest.js. And Nest.js is basically the library that enables you to program a web server. It comes with a command line interface, and that is the thing that you install with this command here. I have already done it, so I'm not going to show this again. And then you have a new command, and I have no power anymore, and I hate it. Come on. Yeah. Oh, just a second. Should come back soon. Come back soon. Here we come. So, yeah, just when I wanted to program something. Okay, time for a coffee. Any questions? Come on, you should be on again. Okay. Hello? Yeah. Sylvester, we need to buy a new battery for my computer.
Or a new computer.
Yeah, my Echo, my power pack. It's actually it's somehow broken, and then it loses contact all the time, and then it has low capacity, and my computer all the times when I switch it on yells on me, oh, I have problems with my battery, and all these kinds of stuff. I have a power cable, but it's sometimes it refuses to recognize it. So here we are again. It's Nest, new project name. That's what we are going to do. So let's put that one here again, and let's come back with this one and have it here. Yeah. Come on. Okay. So we go for, I have no idea where I am. Close all these. And do so. There it is running the front end, I think. Yeah, let's stop it. Here we are. No, I do it full screen, otherwise you can't read it. So we are in my project mono repo that I downloaded from GitHub Classroom. Micro warehouse is the warehouse things, and then there we are in the front end. And now we go for the micro warehouse main folder, where the front end and the back end will live side by side. And here we do this npm, no, it's Nest. It's Nest, new micro warehouse backend. Okay? Everybody fine with that? Okay. So this will, generate a lot of stuff. And this will take time, and it will download half the internet, and I should have prepared it. Scaffold in a few seconds. It's that's a lie. Okay. Which package manager would you like? NPM is great. Installation in progress. So it already created a lot of things. There's this package.json file, which is actually describing our project structure. It's a README there. It's a tsconfig. This is TypeScript config. It sets a bunch of compiler options. You have it for build, and you have it generally. Then there is an app thing. There's main.ts. That's where the program starts. Don't show again. Here we are. And what else? Main is where the project starts and all the kinds of stuff. So it should be there. And it says, oh, we can open it. Does it? Successfully created the project. Yeehaw. Get started with the following commands. Change into the backend and do an npm run start. Oh, let's do that. cd micro warehouse backend. Here we are. And what's there? Let's have a look. Come on. There's this new folder, Micro Warehouse Backend, and there's a lot of stuff. And let's have a look at the package JSON thing here. I do this one smaller a little bit. And it has something like start dev. These are the scripts, the commands that you can actually run. And for some reason, it has a start and a start : dev for development, which adds a -- watch to your command, which actually says, if I change my source code, just do a restart. And I want that directly and always. And I want the same command that we have for the front end in order to start the backend. So it is now, and come on.
I typed something in the.
I typed something there. Yeah, it's gone. Why is this so long here? Oh, that's better. It's npm run start. Ooh. Okay, thanks. So, it says something. A promise is not handled. What the fuck?
That was already used.
Ah, fuck. Yeah. I know it. Yeah. Did my preparation yesterday. So let's try again.
Yeah, Control Z.
Starting compilation in watch mode. Found 0 errors. It comes up. That's great. Nest application successfully started. Did it tell me how to show it? No. But I know. You have to go for localhost 3000. So it's the default port that is opened by Nest. And then you get a hello world. Oh, isn't this great? So where does this hello world come from? It's actually in source. There is this main TS that is actually starting your application. And it's this one because this is named in your, I have no idea, TS config or somewhere, or convention, or I have no idea. So it actually has, it calls an operation that is named Bootstrap. And Bootstrap starts your application. It does a Nest factory, create, provides an app module and says, okay, start it. Well, actually, this one here, app is your web server, and listen is telling the web server to start working, and 3000 is the port where you are listening to. So localhost is your local computer, 3000 is the port you are listening to. Later on, we will be more flexible on that one and have more variables in here, but currently that's fine. So let's have a look in the app module. It has these same idea for modules as the Angular people do. And there you do all these import, export stuff and what you can name and can do. And it has a controller and a service. These are the important parts of your application, of your web server. And actually, the controller is the object or class or the part of your system where the HTTP requests that your browser is sending will actually be sent to. So this localhost 3000 that I put here is actually sending a GET request to there with nothing else. So, and they work with annotations here. So it says, okay, this GET request is mapped to the operation get hello here. So when I send a GET request with no parameters, nothing else, I want the get hello operation to be called, and that one shall return a string. The actual operation is not implemented in the controller. The actual operation is living in the service. So this is convention in the Nest architecture. You do that this way. And so where we go is the get, what we finally call is the get hello operation of another class, the app service class. And all this has been set up for you already. So there's a good point to start. And this one says hello world. And I could change this to hello course. And if I do so, this one restarts. And but here I actually have to reload it automatically, manually, to get the new content. So I have to send a new request to my servers, and then that one does the new return. Hey, we have done. We have actually created our first web server. Hey, that's a cool thing. So, and the first thing that we actually would like to do.
No, do it like a save it for the battery.
Sorry?
Save it for the battery.
Save it for the battery. And it's charging now, it's fine. Okay. So what we actually would like to do is to have something where no, come on, where are you? You? No, yeah, no.
That's the old one. Well, that's the one you prepared.
I wanted to go for my web app, but that's no longer working. I've stopped it. So the store page, but that one here is good. I actually would like to have something where my warehouse pallets page can ask for the list of pallets. And there's multiple things how I could do that. And well, I have prepared this, and I just get the code from my reference solution, and then we'll discuss whether this is a good idea or not. And actually, I want to have, this one here, something like this. Yeah, I loved it. And I think I need oh, this is in the service, not in the controller. Thanks. Okay, wrong class. I need the controller first. And there we do this thing here. Here. I says, if there is another GET request that goes for a path, which is a query, so I do not ask for, where is this one? Here, this is localhost, and I'm going to add more things to the URL here, and I go for a query. Hey, query palette, that's really good. Come on. It's just too short. Query palettes. Yeah. So it currently says, no, I cannot answer to that request because it's not yet there. But that's basically the thing I want to have. And so where are you gone? It's gone. It's gone. It's no longer there. Where is the?
It's on some screen.
Please, on some screen, yeah. Come on. There should be something like, no. Okay, close it. Not a problem. Restart. Here it is. I can see it.
Focus it and then
Please.
focus it and then use. Oh,
Here we are.
do that.
We are back. Um, okay. And I didn't want to be here. Yes, it's this one. Okay, great. And you go away. Cool. Okay. So the parameter here was query. And I cannot even see it. Come on. I just copy it. So what I'm sending is an HTTP request on localhost 3000, query and palettes. And then this thing here is actually telling my web server, please analyze the URL that is coming in. And if it's a GET request, which this one is, and it has after the name of the computer, localhost, and the port, it is continuing with the word query, then I'm your guy. I'm going to deal with this. And then there is another slash and another word. And I want this word here to be mapped on colon key. This colon here actually says, no, I do not really want the characters key Y here. I want the word that is given here to be passed to the parameter key. And then you can, in your GET query, say, I'm looking for the parameter key, and that is going to be mapped to this parameter of my TypeScript operation. And I have actually no idea why I'm forced to write key 3 times in order to get it over here, but that's the way they do it, and they love it. And yeah, here we go. And then it says I need a param, and I'll do a control dot add param to the import. Yeah. So that one is a thing that comes from Nest.js common. And that is a library that has been installed by this Nest new project thing. And then it says, oh, you want a get query operation in app service and you don't have it yet. Let's have a more look. So this one says, I'm responsible for this kind of URL. And the last word is going to be passed in the parameter key. That's it. Then there's this async thing or async. Async means so this operation is going to need time. And it's a long time. And actually, if you program your web server in Java, then you will have multiple threads that are answering multiple requests in parallel. Nest.js or TypeScript usually has only a single thread. So there's only one guy there who's answering requests. And if you do not ask a request promptly, your browser, the client, will get a timeout. So you need to be ready to take new calls at all time. And therefore, you use some kind of multitasking thing. And that is actually what this async means here, async. Do this asynchronously. And actually it tells them, oh, this is an operation that does not return a value directly, but it may take time. And it may be scheduled to a queue and then revisited later on. And so you need to write async in front of your operation anytime you do something that is going to do I/O with your database or these kinds of stuff, and that take a lot of time. So async comes with that what you get back to is a so-called promise. So actually, this operation here is going to need a lot of time. And so when you call this operation get query, you send a URL, you do not really return a value directly, but you actually say, okay, I'm going to schedule this call, put into some queue. Someone is going to take care about it at some time. And seconds later, the result is going to be computed. However, I'm going to terminate now. So the request that comes in is handled and you get a return value directly, although the real return value you are waiting for is not yet supported, not yet computed. And the real idea is that, yeah, I'm not going to answer your questions directly, but you get to ticket from me and or a sheet of paper or something, a promise. Here is, and as soon as I know the result, I'm going to write it in this promise object on this sheet here. So here is the place where I'm going to deliver your results as soon as possible. So you do not get the results directly, but you get a promise, a place, an object after all, which will later on contain the results. And it actually this promise can be asked, is this already there? And then then you wait for the result, and that's the thing how you do that. And we will all struggle with these promises a lot through the rest through programming the backends, and it's actually really confiscating and strange thing. And it's somehow different to what you are used from Java, and so we need actually to take care of this and handle it a lot. Okay. So finally, what we do is we compute the thing and deliver it. And the get query thing is to be built. So, and it says, oh, we could actually declare the method get query. Yeah. And where do we do that? Here we are. And so we go there and it says, so we are now in the app service class. That's the default place where your computational logic lives. So you have the controller class. That is the default place where the decoding of URLs is happening. And then you map it to logical operations which live in your app service. Okay. Here we are. Sorry. It just, okay. I don't like the thing how they actually, not enough black lines here. Get query delivers either a string or a promise-like string. I have no fucking idea. Let's just return the answer is 42. What else? And there's some deprecation burden that actually Sebastian should tell me how to deal with it. I have no idea. It says something like you didn't have a try catch, and if this is going to throw an error, you're in big trouble. That's basically the thing that is happening here. But before we do that, let's go here. Hey, do you guys see this? The answer is 42. That one did work. So we were actually delivering a 42, the thing that I have written here. So that one seems to work. And let's have so double colon. So why didn't no one yell at me? That's not good. We should have backroad and backroad, yeah. And the query is, and then it was $1, I think. I hope my people are telling me that I'm doing the right thing here. Oh, great. And then we do a key here. and I save it, it's recompiling all the stuff. And if I do the query again, then it says the query is pellets. That is the thing hinter query. And the answer is 42. Hey, cool. It works. Great. Here we are. This one is not an adlink operation. It shouldn't be. It's going to become one. Currently not, but I think it's going to become one. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, let's start with this. Yeah, I've prepared that, and I just give it. No. So we are going to return something which is different. So I'm going to create a JSON object, which is an answer that I'm going to respond with, and it has a key. It's an object and a result. Actually, Sebastian was telling me you do not need it this complicated, but I think it's still a good idea to see it in its detail. So, and this list is going to be an array, and there will be some objects in there, which shall be pellets. And the palette things I'm going to copy. So I was querying for a list of pallets, and so I would like to give back pallets. And actually, I do have it in my prepared things, and I'm going to hopefully define it. It's the app controller. No, it's the. Here we are. Yeah, I love it. So, I'll shift F. Not yet. So there's this comma is bad, is it? That one guy is not happy with me. So why does this format thing not work? It's Alt.
You're missing bracket. You're missing a curly bracket.
The curly bracket is missing. Yeah, I see it. Okay. Okay, that's much better. Okay. So what did I do? So the result is going to be a list. The first element of this list is, I will call it an event, and I will tell you later on why I do it this way. And it says I have a block ID. I have to explain that one. So what we are going to do is something that is called event sourcing or something like that. There's actually, our backend is going to store the data about pallets, products, customers, orders, picking tasks, all these kinds of stuff in an object-oriented database, the Mongo database. And there we have actually two services later on, the warehouse service and the shop service. Those two have to, tell each other when something important happens. So there is new product, the warehouse is going to tell the shop. And so to send data from one backend to the other backend, from one microservice to the other microservice, you need something which is usually called a data transfer object, a DTO. The point is, if you have an object-oriented data structure, you usually have pointers between the objects. Pointers are addresses in main memory. And And if I have on one program something in my main memory and it has the address 4242, something like that, and I go for send this thing over to the other thing and say, oh yeah, I have a pointer to the product which is living at 4242. This other program is cooking in its local memory. It says, no, there's nothing there. It's wrong. So you cannot have pointers to locations in your main memory sent across the network from one computer to another. And you cannot have pointers in your main memory that you put on your disk in your database. So you need to replace all the pointers with unique IDs. So what you do is you give every object an ID, and instead of having a pointer to your neighbor, you said, oh yeah, there is, the palette has something which is, and the product that is loaded on it is described in the object with the ID where choose, something like that. And so yeah, that's the things that you would like to store, that you would like to send over the network and to store in your database, finally. If you have an object-oriented database like Mongo, you can actually also have something like internal references in your database, where one database object refers directly to the other database object, and Mongo is dealing with these pointer things for you. That's fine. However, your warehouse and your shop will have an own database, each for itself. So we have two different databases. And so to send from one database to the other, those pointers won't work any longer. And again, what you need to do is, well, manage your own IDs. That's basically the point. And so to be prepared for sending data transfer objects around between services and between backend and frontend, after all, we will actually have something that is called an event store. And that's the usual thing that you do, how you name it. And this is a database where we store things not with pointers, but with our own IDs. And for some political reasons, I call the things I put into these event store, events, of course, and it's called, and I'm not going to store all the events I would like to have that are sent around, but only those that actually contribute to my internal data, to my state, to the database content. And these ones are called, well, building blocks. I said, so my whole, well, model, my data model, my object model, finally consists of a set of building blocks. And these ones are those that I put in my database. Okay. Okay, what actually, and that's where this block comes from. It's the identifier of the building block. And it has a lot of, well, design reasons why I name it this way, and it will become clear to you during the lectures. And this is the building block for the palette 001. And each event has a time. Later on, you will do multiple editing on the same thing. So someone is going to the palette with the red shoes and takes a block out of it. And then the number of things that are still on the palette is going to decrease. And therefore, you update the building block for that palette. And then there might be two people in parallel doing this. And then you need to know, so what is the final state of my palette eventually? And then you actually, if you have two conflicting events, two operations that refer to the same building block, then you say, okay, what are your timestamps? And if there is this timestamp and that timestamp, then you can decide on how to deal with this editing conflict. We will most of the time do it, the latest write is going to win. So we just store the timestamp which is later in time or newer or the fresh one. And the last edit wins is the strategy that I usually implement here, but for some reason you can also do another strategy, and we will have to discuss this. So this is a preparation for the situation that we have multiple users or services that are editing the same building block, the same object after all. And we do get some of these events, if they come over the network from another service to us, they may be late because network was broken, we were down or something like that. And then there will be a good chance that you get a number of events and that you have, well, an event for 12 o'clock and 10 minutes and another for 12 o'clock and 20 minutes. And for some reasons, they show up in the wrong order. So you first see the 12:20 event, and then you see the 12:20 event. And then you have actually to look into your database and see, oh, no, this is 12:10, and I already have 12:20. So I have a newer one already in my database. I'm not going to do this old editing any longer. And then that's the way how we will actually handle a merge conflict. And actually you need to design this already here, which is quite a nightmare. And I feel that I'm using too much time for talking. So it's all 1 hour gone. So then there is an event type, which actually gives us an idea what kind of building block we are dealing with. It is palette stored after all. This comes from this event storming idea that we actually would like to refer to, well, operations of a building, factory, something like that, or builder. Who knows the design pattern builder? Anybody of you guys? Ooh, yeah. So this is going to be taught to you in my design patterns course, or the people from Douala. I have no idea. Do you have a design pattern course in Douala? Yeah, you have. Cool. So there you will find the builder pattern, and that's actually the idea that is behind this one here. And so our events are going to refer to operations of a builder or factory. And the operation is, we have a palette stored thing here. The name is actually not very nice here, but it stems from our board here. So that one says, store product is a command, and finally it's product stored. So this event here is the one we refer to with this name. And actually, so why do I use this mixed fix thing? Why don't I go back? I have no idea why I don't use it in lowercase and with a blank. It feels wrong. So it's a type name, so it should be an identifier. Then there's tags. And the tags are actually the words that we use as keys behind the query URL thing. And that is, again, a lot of design issues here. And because the lack of time and you have to do homework to be done to get the ideas of your homework, just say, I have a number of keywords that I can attach to my event, and that will allow me to ask for a subset of events that I would like to deliver to my users. And one subset that I'm looking for is the active palettes. And another one is all the palettes where red shoes are living on. And so I give these two keywords or tags to my event, and that's it. Then I do have something which is completely random or coincidence. I named this thing payload, and here comes the actual data. And that one says I have a barcode, a product, amount, and location. That is these things in the palette data that we're collecting in our dialog. And so this is the actually thing. This is some extra meta information here that allows us to wrap these things and to do queries on these things and We will have other payload here, products, customers, and these kinds of stuff. And but this part here will be the same for all the events. Okay. Let's have another one. Come on. That's a cool thing here. Yeah. Thank you. I'm over 30. Please help me over the street. And that one should be another pallet, O2, and that one comes, well, some 1 minute later or 5 minutes later, and it's still pallet stores, and it's still pallets. It's red shoes for mics, but it's another pallet. And for some reasons, we have this PAL 002 two times. It's red shoes, and it's shelf roll 23, something like that. Okay, that's good enough.
You have one bracket too many.
There's one bracket wrong here. Thank you. Great. So, and then let's return this thing here instead of what I do have, but I'm going to return a string. I have to ask Sebastian, is it okay to return directly the JSON object or return the answer? Put any here. Just get rid of it. Okay. And if it's a good day for science, if I do that, I get the data. And it's an object with key pallets, and the result is the thing that I just have edited. And it's already formatted. I love it. Great. Yeah. Huh. Okay, there's a lot of magic going on behind the scenes. Okay, and if you do it this way, then it's great. So that's what we would like to. So we could actually now go for, so we have something like a backend already. And actually, so we still have half an hour almost, so we can actually do the Mongoose stuff, couldn't we? Yeah, I think we should do that. So I was referring to, well, you shall not have things in your main memory. And so this is obviously just dummy data that we are currently providing. And I would like to have real data in a real database. Therefore, we need a database. And the database is going to be, so there we want Mongo, that's easy. And well, actually, we need a Mongo database that is living together with our backend service. And you can have it on your local computer if you like. That's a good thing to have for a thing, and you could actually install it. You can have Mongo on Windows. Yes, you can. Yeah, that one possibility. You can have a Docker and have Mongo in a Docker machine. Who knows what Docker is? Docker. It's a simple virtual machine thing that is used a lot of times in the cloud these days. However, so finally, you will have to install your whole system in the cloud. And well, actually, you need to have a computer by some cloud service provider. You can have this with Amazon. It will cost you some 10 euros per month or something like that. You can have it with some other providers. You can have it with, in Germany, you would have Hetzner, for example, that is 5 euros per week or per hour, per month, or two. And then you could have all these kinds of stuff. Well, actually, I'm not going to send you guys to rent your own server somewhere in the cloud from your spare money. but we are going to do it with Heroku. Heroku is another cloud service provider where you can actually upload your web server and they run it for you. And they actually also provide you with databases, but that database is only Postgres. And Postgres is, we did that last year and I didn't like it. And it's a relational database and it's a lot of, it's a pain. We don't do that. And so I wanted to go for Mongo this year. And so if you have the Mongo only on your local machine, the service that is then finally going to be working on Heroku is probably not able to reach its database any longer. So you need a database, a Mongo database in the cloud. You cannot have it with Heroku. They don't give it to you. And they even do not allow you to install a Mongo database on their system because that is a paid service for them. That's only for paying customers and not for free users. And we need another web server for the Mongo database. And what we do is we are going to use Atlas. Atlas Mongo database. Yeah. That is yet another enterprise that provides you with the Mongo service, and they want all your credentials, and they want to send you advertisements and all these kinds of stuff. And I think I have registered with Google, did I? I have no idea. I did. Yeah. But you don't need to do it with Google. You can just hand any other kinds of credentials, and you get one database for free, up to a certain amount to a certain size. That one will be good enough for this course. No, and it's probably not the best solution if you have a proportional thing, but for this course, it's an easy way to get it, and then you have this. So, and I have named my database, and there is documentation coming with this, and it is asking you a lot of questions, and you will find your way through it. It's not too complicated. So each of you, you have actually to get this Atlas account, or you install the database yourself. But then you finally will have to, we will ask you to, if you deploy on Heroku, that you have rented some kind of service or server, and you have access to that. If your university provides you with that, that's fine for me too. So we recommend just go for Atlas, and then you're there. And actually, I can go for my cluster here. And no, that's not what I wanted. Databases. There's some traffic in here. I have no idea why. And I can connect. No, I can. No. So where can I actually see my data? Browse collections. Here we are. Yeah. A Mongo database has a lot of collections. A collection is a set of things, or a table, what you prefer. And you actually see there is some data living in here that stems from my preparation. Let's have it a little bit enlarged so you can actually read it. It has a payload thing, which is a barcode palette, red shoes, a mountain. So the data that you know is already here, and it has tags, which is an area of palettes and red shoes. So my data is already here. I have already done this. You can create a database and then create a collection and these kinds of stuff. But we will learn. Basically, you do some simple installation steps here. You follow the documentation, and then we can go back to our system. Now it's gone. So why? First. Okay. So, and we can install Mongoose. So now we have a database. It's living somewhere on this Atlas computer. Fine. And the next thing that we need to do is No, not Bootstrap, not, oh, so where's Mongoose? Sorry?
Above my message, write it down. Stop. Above my message. There you have. It up. Yes.
Hey, that's cool. Yeah, so it says npm install, this time an I would have sized here. -- save is telling you don't use the latest alpha release, but use a stable release. Nest.js it's a package that is well provided by Nest.js, our web server programming package, and Mongoose is the thing that we have, that we would like to have, and the plain Mongoose package too. So there are actually two packages that we are installing: the Nest.js library part and the real library part. And if you do that, I didn't do that yet, so I actually have to do it. Yeah. And we have time to speak again. Yeehaw. So, second terminal, put it in here, run it.
You're in the wrong directory.
Yeah. CD, so where am I? CD micro warehouse, yeah, CD micro warehouse backend. Here we are. It's good here?
Yep.
Yeah. And I've changed my shell, so do this again. Okay, it says I would ask for money. We ignore that one. Should do the job. So yeah, I've installed some library code. That's fine. And get that one. And there's probably documentation for that. Of course it is. It's Nest.js Mongoose schema. Mongo? Yeah, that's great. And then it says what you need to do to actually connect to a database. So that one was the install thing, and then it says in the app module TS install have the right modules. Okay, great. Let's have that. More again. Here we are. App module TS. It says you need to import. Oh, that's a big one. Mongoose. And that's an import, is it? Yeah. Mongoose module needs to be imported. Hey, that's cool. So it actually says so why? Yeah, thank you. Yes, it's so this TypeScript thing you can really easily shoot yourself in the foot, or tumble over some small nasty issues, and you should always have Sebastian in your ear to warn you for something that you should do wrong. And then there is this MongoDB localhost nest that's probably wrong. That needs to refer to your Atlas database. And actually, I was wondering how I could avoid to show you my credentials. What do I do about that one? I don't want to show the kids my credentials, but I need to show them somehow the thing that I want here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's try that one. Ooh. So, you get that from Atlas, you say?
Yeah.
On the button connect?
Go to databases.
Using MongoDB Compass? No.
No, your application.
Connect your application, and then it gives you this great string after here. Yeah, yeah, cool. Let's just copy that one. Yeah, just go back. Yeah, cool. And then put it here. Yeehaw. And it says password. Okay. And you fill your right password in here, and I'm not going to show it to you. Where do I get my password from after all? Well, actually, you give it in when you create the database, and then you will have it somewhere, and you never forget it. Okay, and that's all about that one here. Yeah, so I close this file. I have filled in my password. We can go back. So what's next? Yeehaw, model injection. Sorry?
Go on.
Thank you. What we need is a schema. That's an important thing. And what is the easiest way to get it? I have prepared that, and I put it in here, and then we go through it. And I will explain what it is good for. And this is build event schema, and I put it in here. And I go for the app service. Oh my God. And I go for, yeah, I want to put it here, or I have something like modules in here. Yeah, that's it. Backend, here I am, and I create this with the nest command, or? And the nest command is nest generator. Yeehaw. It has generated a modules folder, and there is a builder folder, and the builder has a builder module here. And I think I will also have a service in here, and I probably should actually generate this with here, this one too, shouldn't I? Yeah, just to be, you could actually build all this stuff by hand if you know what you do. And it's really hard. And you know that TypeScript is this nasty thing. And this is actually all about, well, having these modules here and having these things saved within these modules. And therefore, we do it this way. And I actually have to look in my R. My solution, whether there's things that I should have here. It says you should have a Mongoose module for feature. Should we do that yet first, or no? Let's start with the service, with the schema. Okay, I have prepared that. This is the build event schema tiers, where we describe the structure of our database for this event store. Basically, you need to have a class build event. Can I actually ask Nest to generate me a schema? No, you have actually to write this by hand. You said you use this add schema annotation in order to tell the database I would like to have a database with a certain structure. And actually, I would like to have a collection with this structure finally. There is this class build event that is the thing that is going to store our events. And it has an event type, which is a string. And then you say, oh, this is a property that I would like to have in my database. And it's required. It's a mandatory field. Yeah. And then there is the block ID. And then there is the time. And then there are the tags. The tags is an array of strings. And I think they have to write it this way. I was Googling this a lot of times, and then this way it works. And then there is this payload, which is just an any. And actually, Mongo doesn't like it. They want a strict schema. And then you have to actually cheat a little bit and say, oh, yeah, it's a required property, but the type of this is Mongoose schema type mixed. There are other things you could do, but I was fighting the documentation, and this one worked, and so this is how we start with this. Perhaps we will later on have a more elaborate thing here. So, and mix is something like any object is okay here, and I don't care. Okay, then there is a schema factory. That is all things that explains the database what structure to set up. And you say, please create a build event schema for objects of this type. That's finally the thing that this operation does. And as soon as I have this, I can go back to my documentation, and it says, yeah, I have this. Yeah, And then it says, okay, there where you would like to use it, have something like this. In the imports for feature, something like this here. And I'm going actually to take it from my reference solution. And this was the model builder module here. Yeah. And we go back to our code, and it's all in this builder module. And oh my God, okay. The builder module has so far only providers. That's not enough. So what we need is some imports. This formatting doesn't work at all. It says Mongoose module and not from dist.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm learning. And it says I want to build event schema, and I just import that one. I hope that works. Yeah, cool. And so what this does is it says I want a Mongoose module, which is actually a module which allows me to connect to my database. I want that this has the name build events, and that the collection that we are going to create uses this event schema, or the data type that we have created. Fine for me. And my one has also an export. I have no idea why. Let's see. You need the export. Okay, so we do an export. Can be, yeah, okay. Exports and yeehaw. And that is again the builder service. Yeehaw. Fine. Okay. You need it because I want to need it somewhere else, within the app service, obviously. And so the builder service actually will contain the operations that we are using in the app to connect to the database, and therefore this is cool. Okay. So what else? The builder module, the builder service can now actually do things. Yeah, let's go for that one. The builder service. That one is pretty empty. So we will actually use our Mongo database, that one that is, come on, that one. You would like, this one created a module, and we actually would like to use it. And this is something like a global service. We want to have an object that is accessible and that provides us with all the functionality. And those global objects that may be used by multiple places in our application, in all this TypeScript world and Nest and Angular world, is provided to you via injection. And so what you do is you have a constructor, and then you say constructor, yeah, yeehaw, inject model. Hey, that one exists. Please provide me with access to this model, which is actually an object after all, and you name it, and that would be build events. Just be sure that is the name that we used here. That is the name of the module or the global variable for it. And that one is going to be used here. Just, yeah, here we have it. And then, so how would I look like to refer to this one? With private build event model, for example, and it is of type model, mongoose model, and it uses pointed brackets. Is this true? I have no idea. Angel brackets, and the type is build event. Yeah, I love it. That should work. So what's the problem here? There are brackets missing. So this says, please provide my builder service with a model object that refers to my database and inject this. And so finally you have an attribute, and in your code you can refer to this with this dot build event model. Hey, cool. Okay. Cool. So, and we have a database. And the first thing I would like to do is to add populate it with something. So that is the trick that we do all the time is well, to see whether it works, try to populate it with something. And I do this in the constructor, which is probably not the best place to do this. And but for testing purposes and while we are constructing the thing, we do it temporarily. We shall not forget to remove this stuff later on. So, and we want that during the running the application, the database is going to populate it, and when there's something happening or that it terminates for some reason, we still would like to look into the database to see whether there is still data in there. And but when we rerun the test, we want a fresh new database. So the very first thing that we do is we clear the database. So if everything is cool, this is clear. Did I implement that? Oh, yeah. Clear is a new operation we are going to program. And this one does. It goes for this build event model. So our handle for the database. Go for DB for your database and says drop the collection for build events. Should I use another name here just to do not get it confused with the thing I have had before? Let's have this event store. I love that one. Hey, cool. Do I still have time? Here. No, I'm almost over with my time. I shall need some 10 minutes. Yeah, let's give me some more 10 minutes, and actually we'll have to discuss what could be a good assignment for you, because we are not going to actually finish this thing easily. So there is still something running in here, and that should do the job. I'm not sure, after all, whether this should already be visible in my database. Let's have a look at Atlas. Go away. Browse collections. No, it's not yet there. There are palettes. Who are you? I have no idea. And there are build events. So let's insert an object into it. And I probably have prepared this. Yeah. So I use an operation store. I have prepared that one too. And I show it to you, and then that's probably the thing that we can actually reach today, and then we will stop. Store. It's again this asynchronously thing, because the operation will need time, and to keep my thing responsive, I do other things meanwhile. So what we do is, this .build event model is our database. Then we do find one and update. We actually do a database query. This is how the query looks like. And then this is what we would like to fill in. And then there's this upward true. So let's have a look at the call. We ask our database to store this object here, which is a build event, block ID, PAL001. Let's have another ID here. Let's have 42. And perhaps here too, just to see something new. And it's actually 13 something here. It's 1348. Okay. Yeah, that probably already did the job. And so it's our block, time, event type, tags, payload, the thing that our build events look like. And then we pass that as a parameter to the store operation. And then there is this filter thing, which is much too complicated after all. But what it actually says, go to my collection. And if look for some objects living there where the block ID is the block ID I'm going to edit. If there is no such object in your thing, then insert the object that I parse here on the new object. If there is already an old object in there, just replace it by this new object. That's basically the thing that we wanted to achieve. And if you go on the documentation for the Mongo database, you will find this all explained. And if this is a good day for science, there should... Please?
You had an error in your console.
I had an error. That's not fair. So what is the error? Please? Address already. That's bad. So where? No, it's not true. No, that's an old one. Is it? Yeah, you're right. So where is this coming from? I have no idea. So where is this other service coming from?
Is that a terminal in your other file code instance?
No. Just restart the computer?
I don't think we have the time for that.
I
don't think we have the time for that.
So how do I find it? Any ideas? No. Come on. Task manager is going to help me, and we will never find that one. I should just close all my Visual Studio codes and then restart them. That should work. Yeah. Close it. Close it. Yeah. So there's no. So it's waiting for a response. There's no responsive thing anymore. That's cool. I restarted. That was not the one I was looking for. I closed them in the wrong direction. File, new window. Come on. EHAR. And then, yeah, I love that one. Here we are again. There's a terminal. And I prefer that one. Micro warehouse, micro backend, that should do the job. And then I do this npm start. That looks better. Yeah, I still have to get back of these warnings, get rid of these warnings. But that one should do the job now. Hey, here we go. So the backend is working. And still we should have the database now. And I do a reload here, refresh. So you say it's still that one. And because there are 3 objects, no, that's the CO one. Perhaps it's in here.
Yeah, you use that database.
Yeah, there are 2 of those. Yeah, there's palette 042. I love it.
But it is important. In the clear method, you're now dropping the collection event store. That one does not exist. You're already doing it in build events. So if you want to do that, you would have to use the right name for the collection.
Okay, so I changed the name everywhere and then it should work finally. So I want event store at all the places. And in the clear,
Constructor, you would have to change it to event store.
constructor here.
And in the builder module,
In the builder module.
now it should work to the collection.
And so we go for databases, we go for browse collections, and it says,
Use the first Microservices database.
it's in my first beta, and there's event stores, is it?
Yeah.
Hey, and that one has exactly 1 object. Love it. Hey, we did it. Great. This is what I want to see from you on Thursday, isn't it? Yeah. Just set up the nest project, set up the database thing, and populate it with 1 object or 2. Let's have 2 objects in the database. And then we are fine. And then next week we are going to implement the query and then connect frontend and backend. That will be how we work on this. And it's basically like this. So yeah, I'm actually sorry. There's such a huge amount of new stuff each week. And we are dealing with so many libraries and we are doing so much new things and there's so much documentation to read each week. And yeah, I'm sorry, that's it. I can't do something about it. There is a whole stack of things that you need to know to actually deliver these kinds of applications. And that's what we are dealing with in this lecture. Actually, if we are able to connect frontend and backend next week, we are, well, almost through 2/3 of the stuff that we are going to learn about. The only thing that is then missing, so well, actually the shop front and back end are pretty similar to the warehouse front and back end. So that will be an easy one because you know the techniques already. And then the final technology that we need to learn about is the connection between shop and warehouse. And then we are basically done. So we have covered already a lot of stuff in the course, and we are making very good progress. And I'm sorry, it's just a steep learning curve, and you need to go up the hill, and that's the point about it. I can't do anything about it. I hope I can help you as much as we can do. Please, so do we use the Discord? So if you have any problems in installing all these kinds of stuff, try to go to the Discord. Do we have times when we are available at the Discord for discussions?
In general, we have a discussions channel
Yeah.
where the students can.
You can go there anytime. So Max is
I did not say.
so Max tells you can go there anytime, and Max is living on that thing, and it's have it on its. He's sleeping with the ear on the phone, and if there are any ping, he will wake up and give you a quick response. So. Each day from 10 to 16. Okay. Who's that early? So, and not the Mondays, because on Monday morning we do the grading for the modeling course. And yeah. Okay. Thank you for the attention, and hope to see you on Thursday and see all your solutions. Thank you. Goodbye.